Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. Now if this is your first time here and you like watching all sorts of sim racing related stuff, subscribe now and click the bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. Well, this is a bit of a change, isn't it? You join me in my car today on my commute to work. Now this is something that many of you probably haven't seen before. Well, all of you wouldn't have seen before because I've never done this before. But this is a type of content, or a format of content I should say, that I wanted to do for quite a long time. Whilst it's new to you guys, it's not that new to me. The reason that I want to do this kind of content is because, well, it was inspired by a couple of my favourite YouTubers. So a lot of you will know that Shmee150 is my favourite YouTuber. For those who don't know, he is a guy who has a car channel. He has a collection of the most fantastic cars and he's kind of working his way up. He started with no supercars and now he's got a load of supercars and a hypercar. So it's absolutely incredible watching his journey. And another guy who's a favourite of mine is a guy called Mr. JWW, of similar ilk, another car guy, killing it at the moment, doing really, really well. And they kind of have a lot of the values that I feel I have as well, about hard working and all that sort of stuff and liking the nicer things in life. So Shmee has got a Fuel for Thought series and Mr. JWW's content is pretty much all like this. And I think generally, as a kind of media world and the way in which we are consuming media, things are changing. For example, on demand is pretty much how it all started. I mean, who nowadays, unless it's sort of like EastEnders or something, who waits around for their favourite show? I know I certainly don't. My favourite shows are all on YouTube, to be quite honest, or on Amazon TV, or on anything like that. So I watch pretty much everything on demand, and that is pretty much the way that the world is going. There's also a lot of podcast type stuff that is on the rise, and that's mainly because people are getting busier. They've got less time to be sitting there consuming media, like viewing media. So this kind of content as well will allow people to either watch and listen or just listen. I know my analytics in YouTube. I know that most of my audience are between 25 and 45 years old, which means that the majority of you are going to be full-time at something. People don't have much time. And because they don't have much time, the behaviour in which we consume media changes. So for me, I love listening to podcasts or watching podcasts. Essentially, Joe Rogan, who is the UFC commentator, is a guy that I watch quite a lot. I don't only listen to it, I watch it. So if I don't have the time to sit down and watch something and relax, I will put YouTube on in the car, so the audio just comes out, and I'll sit there and listen to it. So I thought to myself, right, if I enjoy that sort of stuff, then why don't I make it? Also, in terms of video production, it is very, very easy. So right now I'm shooting this on my commute, as I mentioned earlier. I'm an absolute stickler for staying productive, and that's probably one of the main reasons why the YouTube channel currently has the traction that it does. Oh, big lorry there, let's avoid these. So as I was saying, I like being productive, and the only time I feel I'm not productive is on my commute. This allows me to film this on the days that I drive. I mean, often I get the train up to London, but sometimes I drive to a different office and I've got about an hour each way in the car where I pretty much do nothing but scan through radio stations to find a song that I like, really. And it kills me because it's such a waste of time. So this will allow me to kill two birds with one stone and actually get something filmed and sorted for you guys to enjoy for the channel. It also is great because It allows me to connect with you guys and get a lot of my views across in a different manner. I mean, at the moment I have to shoehorn them into a video of some sort. So if, for example, I want to talk about, I don't know really, there hasn't really been any examples actually, come to think about it, because I haven't been able to shoehorn them in. Like, unless something doesn't really happen for a while, for a couple of laps on a race that I'm doing, there's no opportunity to really talk to you guys about the stuff I want to talk about. So this is also going to give me a real outlet to let me talk to you guys about topical stuff. And yeah, all in all, it's just a win-win-win for me. So that is the reason why you're watching this type of video right now. Oh, good stuff. Guys, as a side note, if you're someone who buys coffee every morning, don't do it. Get yourself one of these. It was about 20 quid from Amazon. Get yourself a proper coffee machine and make yourself a latte every single morning. If you spend 3 quid every morning on a coffee, it's completely pointless. Spend yourself about 100 quid on a coffee machine, spend about 30 quid on a decent coffee cup, and within about 40 working days you'll be in profit. So if you're a coffee drinker, a little bit of consumer advice, get yourself one of these and get yourself a coffee cup. Sorry if the noise is really, really bad, by the way. I'm currently on the M25 and this section of it is this kind of yellow, horrible concrete, and then it goes to good tarmac, and now it's gone back to bad tarmac. So sorry if the sound's poor, even though this car does have acoustic deadening, whatever it says. Still, I don't think it'll be able to keep up with the appalling state of this part of the M25. Right, now we're on a nicer bit of the M25, I'm going to start trying to talk to you again. So we've covered how this bit of content, or how this type of content has arisen. And now I just want to kind of give you a flavour about what I want to talk about and what my intentions are with it. So my intentions are that this is going to be in addition to the stuff we're doing on the channel. The channel isn't changing or anything like that. That's the first thing that happens. Anytime I bring anything new to the channel, there's a little bit of a backlash from people saying, oh, we don't like this, oh, why are you not doing videos anymore? It's nothing like that at all. So Gran Turismo Sport will still continue, iRacing will still definitely continue, Assetto Corsa Competizione will arrive, but this is just sprinkled on the top. So don't worry guys, nothing is changing at all. This is just in addition to what we already do, and almost like a little bit of a passion project, if you like, for me, and something a little bit more for me, I think. I mean, a lot of you, I hear it in the comments as well, you've got to enjoy it, blah blah blah, because maybe it comes across as if I'm not enjoying it. I am enjoying it, but this is the type of content that I really, really enjoy, so I'm going to make it. I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on the channel. It feels like quite a good time to do it, because last week we passed 10,000 subscribers. Absolutely crazy. In just over a year, I think it's about a year and 2 months, we've gone from nothing, no community, no views, no subscribers, to 10,000 subscribers, an amazing community, and a shed load of memories over the last year that have been absolutely fantastic. So thank you all if you've been on the journey since day one, or if you joined yesterday. Thank you all for your support, I really, really appreciate it. So where are we with the channel? We have 4 main bits of the channel that I want to cover. So we've got 3 games and this kind of content. So we've got Gran Turismo Sport, iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we also have this that is just starting. Now, to cover GT Sport, which is probably the main part of the channel, we're back onto rubbish M25 road again, so excuse me if the sound isn't great. Gran Turismo Sport is the main part of the channel. It's probably the main reason why a lot of you are here. It's the main game that a lot of you play, and it's very much the focal point of this channel. The mission statement, if you like, has always been the same. I want to get to a live event. So it started out when I was with a controller. I got up to just under A+, but then I kind of hit a ceiling with a controller. I know some people can get to the world final, I think it was, based on just a controller, but for me personally, I felt I hit a ceiling. That's not to say anybody else will, and if you've got a controller there is no pressure at all to get a wheel, but for me personally, I hit a ceiling. I got to where I thought I could with the controller, and then I went and got myself a wheel. We then did the beginner to winner series, where I was learning the wheel. I ended up going right the way down to pretty much my lowest driver rating, and then we built ourselves back up to A+, and that was probably a good 5 months ago now. We were at A+, and we've kind of been hovering around that ever since, but the overall goal still remains. And with the new announcements of the championships coming out, it's pretty clear what our path is going to be now, and I'll take you through that. Honestly, this tarmac is appalling. Is it even tarmac? I think it's just concrete. Either way, it's shocking. Right, 3, 2, 1, we're back on decent tarmac, and that should be the case for the rest of the journey. So we'll keep on going. So as I was saying, my talent level, I know, is not really good enough to get to a live event of any style. I'm not talking world final live event, we're talking regionals or anything, to be honest, or even be in the running to be in a live event. That is probably the aim, and realistically probably won't happen, but we're going to see how close we can get to it. With the new announcements from Polyphony Digital about the Gran Turismo sort of path to the world finals, in terms of, I think there's about 40 events, a number of events within that count, and then the top guys will be selected to go to the regional and world finals. Now, reverse engineering this to work out a strategy of how we are going to attack this. So this is the way I think about it. The overall aim is to get to some sort of live event. Now, I'm obviously British, which is good and bad. It's good because it means that there is loads and loads of people in the lobbies because we're in the EMEA region. However, it's bad because the British drivers are pretty damn good. To get yourself into a nations final or any sort of live event, you're going to have to beat a fair few British guys. So for me, the Nations Cup, it's not the right path for me. It doesn't seem to make sense. With the Nations Cup sort of put to one side, deprioritised, that takes us on to the Manufacturers Series. Now, this is where I think the best opportunity for me is going to be to get to some sort of event. I have stuck with the Lexus, and it's going to take a lot of luck and a lot of things to fall into line for me to get there, but there'll be a smaller pool of people, of top people, using a Lexus, I hope. So if I'm lucky, not many people choose the Lexus, which will give me a better chance of getting to the world, well, not the world final, but, you know, getting to a live event and doing better generally. So for example, if I go with some obscure person like Hyundai, however you want to say it, there's going to be less people that are going to go with the perceived overpowered Porsche. So if you're not the strongest driver in the world like me, it would make sense to go with the manufacturer that not many people are going to go with, a bit more offset. So that is why I'm going with the Lexus. It's also something that I'm familiar with. And to be honest, you're not really battling against other manufacturers, you're battling against the people with the same manufacturer. So for me, I'm going to deprioritise the nations, and I'm going to go full bore into the manufacturers for the reasons that I spoke of before. Now that brings me nicely onto my Lexus that I'll be using. So I'm going to use the Lexus. I've said that a couple of times already, I think everybody knows it. But another main reason that I'm going to use the Lexus is more of a community-based reason. So I've had a livery made up by Rico Suavius that was inspired by, I think, Jan Lammers, I think, in Le Mans. It must have been in the late 90s or in the 90s at some point. Essentially, he had a checkered flag livery, and to raise funds, what he did is he sold a little square. Much like the $1 Million homepage selling pixels, he sold squares to sponsors, and it basically sheeted all the way across the car. I thought it looked great. It was really, really unique. Now, flipping that and making it into something that I can use and give something back to you guys, because that's really, really important to me, is to give stuff back. I am going to give each one of those squares to every channel member, and they're going to be in every race that I use. They're on both the Group 3 Lexus and the Group 4 Lexus, and you guys are forever going to be enshrined on the car and in the videos whenever I do them. So that is another reason why I'm using the Lexus. So if you're not a member yet and you want your name on the car, there should be a join button, I think, below this video, depending on what device you use. So go click on that and you will find your name in one of the squares on the cars. So that is Gran Turismo pretty much covered. Moving on to iRacing. This is something that's been a bit newer to the channel, and at the moment it's probably in its infancy. I started doing this probably about 3 months ago now, iRacing, and we're currently, for those who are keeping up with the channel, on round number 3 of the VRS Sprint Series, I think it is, or Championship, one or the other. Either way, the VRS Sprint Cup, it could be another option, Cup. We have decided to go in the Merc for this, the Group 3. So our journey on iRacing so far goes a little like this. So we got the game, you jump straight into the Mazdas, also known as the Rookies, in the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup. Now you do that to get your safety rating up, because your eligibility for championships is done on your safety rating, not your driver rating. You can be the worst driver in the world, as in slowest, but as long as you're safe and at the top safety rating, you'll be okay to go into any of the championships. So that's how it works. So it's really, really good because it promotes safe driving, something other games can really learn from. So we were in Mazdas, or Rookies as it's known. We got ourselves up to a certain level. I think we did about 6 rounds, but we did many more races, and I did a few videos on the channel of it. Then we moved up to IMSA. I call it IMSA, but apparently it's IMSA. But that was kind of a bit disappointing, to be honest, because it was basically like Mazdas, but twice as quick, because guys were in Group 3 cars or GTE cars. They had the same inability to drive, I would say, or they were at the same level of driving, but they were just like missiles everywhere. Absolute nightmare. So I did what I needed to do with that and got myself up to B license. As I say, you get that through your safety rating, so I drove as safely as I can to get up to B, which made me eligible for this VRS Sprint Championship. And this one is going to be the first real championship we're going to do from start to finish. You've seen a couple of videos on it now, one on Watkins Glen, which was an eye-opener, shall we say, and the second race was at Bathurst, which I think was a good recovery drive after a real big mistake for us. But we're learning, we're getting better, and as I said in the video, as long as I'm learning and not making the same mistakes over and over again, then I'm okay with it, I'm not too bad. So our plan with iRacing is to finish that championship, but I'm also going to introduce some longer events. Now, as I'm the only one really in my community who has jumped on iRacing, it's a heavily GT Sport played community that I have, because it was built on GT Sport, so it's understandable. But as and when people start joining iRacing, I would like to get into the more team-based stuff. So we've got loads and loads of championships that are sort of 3-ish hours, between 3 and 6 hours you can do in teams, which I think would be a really good thing to bring to the channel in stream form. So there are a few people who have joined iRacing, and they actually use my referral link as well, so thank you very much. If you are thinking of joining up or renewing your iRacing and you want to help me out, please click that. I think it's down in the description somewhere. There is a referral link which gets me like $10 in iRacing credits, which is fantastic because it allows me to buy stuff, and then in turn I can bring it to you, so I can buy cars and tracks and things like that. So please consider that if you're joining or renewing your iRacing membership. Now, as I was saying, the longer events, we've got options for 3-hour events, 6-hour events, but the main interest for me is the specials. So basically you've got special events from iRacing. You've already seen one of them with the Bathurst 12 hours, and the next one we're going to do is the Nürburgring 24 hours. I think it's in the second weekend of May. Myself, Charlie Roscoe, Dr. Rob, who's a good friend of mine through this community, and Charlie's friend Ryan, who you will see on all of Charlie's streams. Us four are going to take on the Nürburgring Nordschleife for 24 hours. 12 hours at Bathurst was hard enough. We're going to double that, but we're going to have twice as many people, and we're going to try and tackle the Nürburgring. Now, it makes sense, as it's a 24-hour race, to have two halves of the team, if you like, on different sides of the world. So when we're racing, they can sleep, because it'll be 12 hours ahead, I think they are, and also while we're sleeping, they can be racing. So it should work out pretty much perfectly. I'm going to live stream the whole thing. I've sorted out the streaming now, we're just waiting for the correct event to bring it back to you guys. I know a lot of you say in the comments you want to see more streams, and you will do. Just at the moment, I just needed to make sure that it was perfect. Got it perfect now, so we just need to think of the right event to bring it back for. And I think at the moment that event looks like the Nürburgring 24 hours. Or we might do a GT Sport one. But definitely the Nürburgring 24 hours is something that's going to be live streamed. I'm incredibly excited about it. I'm also slightly nervous about it. But again, as long as we enjoy ourselves, then I'm alright with it. Right, where were we? Assetto Corsa Competizione. Now, you wouldn't have seen it too much because this is in Steam, which means essentially it's not finished and they're releasing it in increments until they do have a finished product, and then it will go live, basically. So we're on build, I think we're on the final build or something like that, but either way it's going to stay off the channel for now until the full game comes out. So I hear there's quite a few bugs and stuff with it, so I want to make sure that everything's fine before I invest some time in it, certainly before I bring it to the channel. But my initial thoughts on it, it sounds brilliant, it looks beautiful. I'm just unsure about the multiplayer at the moment. I've heard some pretty Forza-like reviews on it, so which worry me, to be honest. So we shall see when the full version comes out, but anticipate that coming your way sometime soon. And the final bit really was about this kind of content and where we go from here. So already I feel good that I'm able to talk to you and communicate with you about stuff like the channel, where we're going with stuff, and basically just refresh all of you on the direction the channel is going, because I know there's a lot of new people, join every single day, and I'm really keen for everyone to be clear on what journey we're on, because I think if you don't know the journey, you can't buy into it, but if you do know the journey and buy into it, you really feel sort of more engaged with it. So that is the reason why I wanted to refresh this. Now going forward, I want to release this kind of weekly and cover a load of topics that are just kind of on my mind, to be honest, but there's a few things that we need to do before we do that. So firstly, we need a name for it, and I want you guys to help me out with that. I've got no idea what I can call it, but you guys are far more creative than me. So if you've got any ideas that you think would make a good name for this, I don't know what you call it, this segment of the channel, then please post it in the comment section down below, and I'll pick the best one and we'll run with it. Also, I want to talk about what kind of topics you guys want to talk about. What's on your mind? What do you want to cover? Because it's a two-way thing, this channel, and it always has been. I've got the things that I want to say to you, but I know you guys have got a lot of stuff that you want to say to me, and I want to address those as and when they come up. So if you've got anything you want me to talk about or cover, also let me know in the comment section down below. Stuff like if you've got any questions that you want me to answer, if you want my thoughts on anything such as, I don't know, the past week we had the opening round of the Formula 1 World Championship, we had the World Tour event in Paris on Gran Turismo Sport, all this sort of stuff. If you want me to talk about it, let me know in the comment section down below. I read all the comments and I get back to as many people as I can, and I'll make sure they are covered in next week's video. And I think that is about it for this, the first episode of the sort of vidcast or podcast or whatever you want to call it. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I hope after editing I can edit it into something that is enjoyable for you guys. So let me know also in the comment section down below your thoughts on it. Did you enjoy it? What did you like? What didn't you like? And generally we can just build it into something we all enjoy, because as I say, this is a bit of time on the channel for me. This is something that I want to do, and it is important that whilst it's something I enjoy, that you guys are enjoying it as well. So as I say, let me know exactly what your thoughts are on it. But for now guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.